Alright, what's up everyone? In this video we're going to be filming a overview of my bike, pretty much a 1 year review of what I think so far, riding this bike for approximately a year. Okay, so first let's talk about the actual bike. What is this bike? This is an inspired bicycle. This model is called the Skye. It's like Danny McCaskill's pretty much signature bike, and that had a lot to do with why I wanted this bike in the first place, because we all want to be Danny Mac and do front flips off of buildings. But this bike is kind of like sort of at the top of, you know, the inspired line. They make other bikes that they kind of consider like below this model, like more like entry level, and then this is sort of like the pro level, like at the top. This bike is older now. When I first got it, it was actually about to be replaced by, back then, the black colored frame, like the version 3. This is the version 2 Skye, the version 1 was the orange one. So this is the blue version. Now forgive me, I don't remember the geometry off the top of my head just because I haven't really been shopping for trials parts in a little while, and that's actually, you know, says something about this bike that I haven't had to really shop for parts, just because it's actually held up really well. It's pretty dirty. I don't actually really clean it for two different reasons. One reason is because I just haven't done it, and the second reason because the finish of this frame is actually like a metallic, it's very porous. It's not a glossy finish, so it's very hard to clean. So if you use like a paper towel, it's like sandpaper almost. So dirt's really hard to get off of it. Would I buy this bike again? Well, yes I would, just because I really love everything about this bike. I really do. A lot of people ask me, you know, they're in the market for a trials bike, should I get the Skye, you know, even though it's like one of the most expensive bikes that Inspired sells, or should I get the Arcade, or should I get one of the sub models, you know, like the Fuse, or, you know, something less expensive? What's the difference? The reason I bought this bike is because this is the model that I wanted, for the specific reason that I knew it was the strongest, and it was exactly what I wanted. I wanted to have an aluminum frame. I didn't really want to go with the chromoly and, you know, the BMX style cranks and all the BMX style parts, just because I rode BMX and I felt like if I wanted to ride BMX, I could ride my BMX bike. So I still wanted it to be kind of like the whole trials. Not that there's anything wrong with the Arcade. You can do trials on the Arcade. The Arcade actually has a longer wheelbase than the Skye does, so in ways the Arcade's better for trials than even the Skye is. You know, this is Danny's signature bike, so he designed it how he liked it. So I decided, well, you know, if he likes this type of bike for doing front flips, and I want to do front flips, so I decided that the Skye is what I wanted. So let's start with, have I broken any parts? And yes, I have. Now, I haven't broke anything major, and these are pretty minor, the things that have broken. I think there was two things that I broke that I really remember. Was the first one was the rotors that came with these brakes. These are Magura MT7s. Those rotors, they just weren't very good. They made a lot of noise, like creaking noises when I would use them, and I was hopping up a wall, and I actually have it on video, and I just grabbed my brakes, and the rotor pretty much just buckles and turns into a taco. So I had to get a new rotor. So now I run the Shimano, I think they're like RT77 rotors, and I ran these rotors when I had the Shimano M820 brakes, and they work really well with these brakes. So there was that. And now the other thing, which is also brake related, was the master cylinder up here. I forget whether it was the front or the rear, but the master cylinder actually gave out and started leaking, so air got into my brake system, so that wasn't good, so my brakes didn't work. Magura was actually really nice, and they had really good customer service, so they just told me to take a photo of the actual brake so they knew which one I had, and then they sent me a replacement for a warranty, so I didn't even have to send it back. They just sent me a replacement master cylinder. I did have to do the bleeding myself and learn how to bleed brakes and have to get the bleeding kit, but you know, it's good to know how to do it, and it's something I want to learn how to do anyway, even though it took me like probably 20 tries to actually get the brakes working the way I wanted them to. So besides those two issues with the brakes, I really haven't had any issues whatsoever with this bike. I still have the original tires on it. I have run the Maxxis Holy Rollers in the past, but I really like these tires more so just because these have thicker sidewalls. The Maxxis tires are folding tires, and I would pretty much inevitably tear through the sidewall when I was, riding after a little while. Before the tire would even wear down, I would tear through the sidewalls and my tube would puncture through the sidewall, and then my bike, the tire would be ruined. So I'm actually really liking these tires. I don't know if they still are, but they were like about double the price of the Maxxis Holy Rollers. So far, I really like them, and I think they're worth it. But I believe they are maybe a little bit heavier than the Maxxis tires, but I really like them. Now, if you guys are wondering, I remember a couple people asked me to like do a giveaway of my 4Play, and I would be open to that. But the thing is that bike is actually broken. I did notice after I got this bike, I didn't even know that my front forks are actually cracked. Over here, there's actually a massive crack. So if you ride that bike, the forks will probably break and you'll probably eat the pavement. So I don't want that to happen to anybody. So that would have to be replaced. And also the headset is broken on it also. So it has a few issues, and also the drivetrain's a little bit messed up. So I need like a new chain tensioner. It's got a lot of issues, which is why I haven't really done anything with it. These cranks, I really like these cranks. These are like the upgraded crankset and bottom bracket that they provide. If you select at checkout if you want that. I think it's still like that versus the other type of cranks. I really like them. They have a little bit of flex to them, but they are really light. That's why I got them, because I just, since I'm maybe a little bit of a weight weenie, I just really want to do that. These rims are discontinued. They don't make these rims anymore. Now they make like the Spank rims. I think that's an odd name, but I've never tried them, but I think they're a little bit lighter than these, maybe stronger too, they say. But I haven't had zero issues with these rims other than just having to tighten spokes every so often. This seat works really well, especially catching tail whips. Like, this seat has definitely been through a lot of abuse by hitting my shoe. A lot of the parts on this bike, while they were new like a year ago, they already have been replaced by other stuff. So, I have the Hope hubs on it, but these are the V3. I think they have the version 4s already out. But I have had zero problems with that, and I really just overall love this bike so much. It's probably definitely, with my 4Play, I didn't buy the 4Play as a complete. I actually bought it was like an adamant frame. I bought it from a different website, and it was like a pure trials bike, so I had to like convert it to a street trials bike like over the course of like a few years that I had been riding that bike. So it was just never really what I really wanted it to be. So when I got this bike, it was pretty much like everything that I always wanted in a bike, and it's been working really well. That's a bug, been enjoying it a lot, so much. I love this thing. So overall, yes, I would definitely buy this bike again. I'm really happy with this, complete setup from Inspire. They did a really good job, and they pretty much made exactly what I would want in a bike. So if you're looking for a street trials bike, Inspire, they really got their stuff together with this. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Inspire to be saying that. I'm just actually saying that. But if Inspire wants to sponsor me, that's fine too. So I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to leave down in the comments suggestions for other videos you'd like me to make. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them, and I will see you in the next video.